Erik Horne here with Brett Dawson in front of the Integris Thunder Development Center. Tonight was draft night, and Brett, the Thunder got a really young, intriguing prospect in Terrance Ferguson, 19-year-old out of Australia.
Sort of out of Australia.
Sort of out of Australia. He's actually out of Oklahoma, but, he's been to Oklahoma, he's been to Dallas, been to Australia, and now he comes back home, and I guess it's come full circle for Mr. Ferguson.
Yeah, he's a former five-star high school player. He committed to Arizona, was going to play there, opted instead to go to Australia and play for the Adelaide 36ers. I don't know anything about that team. What I know is that he played with a lot of older, more physical guys. Sam Presti just talked to us about the fact that, Terrance Ferguson had to find a role on a team. Unlike a lot of these guys who went to college, played as freshmen, were big scorers, Ferguson had to sort of find a role, find a fit with a bunch of guys who were more experienced than he was. He struggled at times. He had some ups and downs, but I think Sam Presti views that as kind of a positive, that he took on the challenge and that he had to figure some of those things out on his own.
A big question coming into tonight for the Thunder was how they were going to improve this team. It doesn't seem like this is a ready-made, ready-to-go package player that can immediately, stuttering.com, immediately help the Thunder, particularly Russell Westbrook. But Sam Presti said, they don't draft the guy for what he can do today. They draft players for how they can develop within the system and how they can help them grow as a player. And this is certainly a player that has a lot of growth to do. He's 6'7", doesn't have a lot of weight on him, probably in that 185, 190-pound range. But he can do a lot of those things, and he has the potential to do a lot of those things that you really want from an NBA player at the small forward shooting guard position.
Yeah, he just turned 19 just last month, and so he was an 18-year-old playing in Australia. He's a guy who, on a very young team, he's going to be the youngest player by more than a year. Domantas Sabonis is already 21, so he is very young. He made his reputation in high school as a shooter. That was his thing. He was a three-point shooter, made 7 three-pointers in the Hoop Summit game, which is the USA against the world. That was sort of the game that got him on the Australian pro team radar. That's sort of the game that landed him there. But he competes defensively. He gives a lot of effort. You can find him on YouTube and see a lot of dunks. He's a high flyer at 6'7". He's got a good reach. And the thing that people talk about, and the thing Sam Presti talked about, compete. He'll compete. He wants to guard, wants to play defense. He has a lot of the sort, to use a cliche, checks a lot of the boxes for the Thunder. Young, athletic, competitive guy.
They don't want to put limitations on Terrance Ferguson yet. Sam Presti said that Terrance Ferguson is going to play in the Summer League. That's the expectation for him. They didn't want to say whether or not he would be primarily a G League player or he would be a Thunder player primarily most of the year. They want to see how he goes through Summer League, see how he works with the coaches, see how he progresses, and then they can just make a determination as they go as to what they're going to do with Ferguson throughout the year. But it's an intriguing pick, and it's an exciting pick for the Thunder, and it's an upside play for them in the 20 range in the draft, because when you get to that point, you really don't know what you're going to get.
Well, and Presti said tonight, the odds of any of these guys in the 20s, the odds are against most of them being successful. You look at the Thunder's draft record, some really good picks in the 20s, Serge Ibaka, Reggie Jackson, some big misses. Mitch McGary was in the 20s. They've had some failures there. And so, yeah, the odds are against things working out at that range. This is a guy who you're really reaching on potential, a guy who, he's not going to help you. You're not going to get in a playoff series next year and get a whole lot out of Terrance Ferguson in the first round of the playoffs. But this is a guy who I think has a chance to mature with your team as your team grows, and in a couple of years has a chance to be a really good player.
Thunder expected to introduce Terrance Ferguson on Saturday. We'll have some more information about him as the days go on, and particularly going into Summer League that first week of July. Continue to watch us every day at newsok.com and follow our coverage of the Thunder in the Oklahoma.
Long ball for Ferguson. Watch out below! This is not the way things were meant to go. Barilla Warrior at the start of the half.
And the Adelaide Arena knew it was coming. TK Ferg went video game mode.